I saw the Queen of England. We always start with I saw. He doesn't say that much, actually. Whatever, that's our joke now. I saw the Queen of England, and she was dead. And
No,
I said,
I left for 15 minutes. I left her alone with Hillary Clinton in that bedroom for 15 minutes.
and then what happened? What happened to her, Joe? What'd you do
I
to
don't
the
know.
Queen?
I went to go get a sandwich, and then I came back, and she had a bullet in her. But that's okay, because the Queen is worth 9 points in chess.
We're in a sandwich situation now. Will she try to join in the conversation if we talk about the Queen?
Nah.
Okay. Well, whatever
So
then.
I finished up my sandwich, and then
It only matters
when I
if it's
came
something
back,
that she would be upset about. Or that.
I don't know, I assume everything makes her upset.
Okay. Is that if once again
That's
the sandwich is if his girlfriend is within earshot. I don't have that problem though.
only Chads don't
That's
have
right.
that problem.
The stream is more important to me. The art is more important.
That's right.
And the Queen was dead. And so I said, I don't care. Everything will continue to be the same anyway. That would stop the media from eating it up, though. It's kind of like, yeah, whatever. But
They really care about.
I guess it's kind of interesting, though. She was like in whatever, she was queen, whatever that means now, for something like 60, 70 years. And everyone thought she was immortal. But she wasn't. No one is immortal. And immortality will never be invented because it's not possible.
It just isn't. Why isn't it possible?
It just I didn't think of that. Anyway. Well, now with that old bag out of the way, so
She went to Scotland and died of cringe.
now they have a king again, as you should. You should always have a king. Now they're pivoting the power over to the king. And I'm sure he'll reign just as benevolently as she did. Anyway.
Has she been I don't know, I guess she didn't do anything
Let's see.
incorrect. She didn't do anything, so I don't know.
No, they don't have any real power. Like they're just kind of a remnant of a bygone era. And they have lots of money, so I guess that's that. Which, you know, having the money, controlling the money is more important than controlling the government, as a famous man named, was it Nathan, I think? Nathan Rothschild once said.
Well, if you control the money, you do control the government, so...
Yeah, that was the point. Yeah, he had...
well,
they
like, no shit.
They at the time, and perhaps even a little bit beyond that time, were more powerful than the actual monarchy because they controlled the money. And that may have continued to be the case after that into the future. What's this game called again?
Space Hulk. I'm supposed to do something. Place Terminator Reserve. Oh. Okay, it's making me do tutorial things.
Nice.
That's good.
What else? We were talking... No, not really anything actually important happened over this last week, so I don't know what to start on, really. We were talking about Keffels a little bit. We brought it up last week a little.
Keffels is a real piece of work, I'll tell you.
Tell me,
So
tell me when to
Keffels
switch
is
back to you.
a
I'm going to switch it to my browser to the page you sent me real quick.
okay.
So
It
here's
doesn't matter. It's-
here's Keffels here. He's a man, as you can see, named Lucas Roberts.
That's called the dead naming. You're gonna get banned off Twitter. These things are very important.
If he was more in shape, he could have been a sort of attractive man. He definitely doesn't pass, though, as is usually the case. I'll probably not show that one part, so I don't have to go back and edit it later. That picture of him doing some silly things on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a compilation of stuff from Kiwi Farms. I'm just going to send it back to you. They put this compilation of stuff together and made a statement on it, how Keffels is in the business of peddling homemade hormones that they mix in their bathroom. They being him and his friends.
His friend.
Him and his friend like to influence isolated and confused young boys and get them to distort themselves sexually. Yeah, they like going around pink pilling young boys. And because they talked about this on Kiwi Farms, Keffels and his friend went and got Cloudflare to shut down, or, well, they not shut down necessarily, but disassociate with Kiwi Farms. So now it's now it is down temporarily still, I
The
believe.
system is down. Oh, there's a vent right there. Yeah, I mean, so Keffels has an army of cat boys on Twitter, so they can just mobilize them to do any raids that they want.
Are these boys that he collected off of Discord? Who
Yeah.
sent hormones?
It's like the quintessential Discord groomer.
He's kind of like, what are they called? In Castlevania, the like necromancer guys.
The necromancer.
They assimilate these people into their army and then use them for their bidding. He goes around pink pilling these young boys and then using them as his drone army.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what do you expect? I would. Yeah.
I'm looking through they're mostly Twitter screen caps.
Well, they stalk people on Kiwi Farms. They do a lot of takedown research, I guess. But
Well, it's more like they do research on questionable people, which often incriminates them. So he goes around talking about yeah, I'll show my screen again. I passed those screen caps of his other online shenanigans. True,
it's there again later, near the bottom.
Okay. I have hooked up with cis men without disclosing. The real crime is that they're so bad at sex, I exclusively date women now by choice. Trans women or cis women. You should specify, because I think that's important. Because for some reason, a lot of trans women are only interested in dating actual women. For some reason, I don't know why.
It's because they're so comfortable in their skin. That's
They're just fascinated by them. They just want to understand them more. So I just updated OBS, and it has a new feature where I can enter a message. Does that send a message onto the YouTube chat? Oh yeah, it sure does. Okay. Well, that's cool. That may be useful in the future. Maybe if we had people like spamming cheese pizza links or something in the future, then we could.
Well,
We'd have to mess with the chat more
YouTube
like
won't do
it's.
anything about that.
Well, we'd have to. One of us or somebody else would have to mod our chat. You can get one of my simps to do it for me. I'll tell them that I like them and that we can meet up sometime.
And that you'll give them bathtub estrogen that I made.
Yeah, I'll get one of my cat boys from Discord to mod my chat. That's an interesting feature though. We were talking about switching over to Gab video and dual streaming it to YouTube as well though. I'm not making a Twitch though. Nobody ask. No Twitch. Not like Google's any better, but I just hate Twitch. Everything, nothing good ever comes off of Twitch. 90% attention whores showing off their cleavage while pretending to be interesting or playing a game or whatever.
Playing a game poorly.
Which I wouldn't know anything about that. I wouldn't pretend to be interesting while playing video games on the internet.
Yeah, I would. I mean, that's what everyone does. They pretend to be interesting and have a life instead of sitting around watching TV all day.
We want grandchildren. Best you'll get is a Twitch chat full of teenagers that call me mom. I'm reading. There's another Twitter screen cap. It is a really disgusting person. I hope that he faces the court of law for his crimes. Probably not, though. Maybe the best we can hope for is a bunch of teenagers that call him mom, and then hang him from a tree. Am I allowed to say that? I would hypothetically say that maybe that is something that we could hope for. That's the best you could hope for, as opposed to him facing legal justice for his crimes.
His crimes of social justice.
For being a strong, independent social justice warrior. We couldn't hope for the police to ever actually do anything about it.
It's actually doing anything. That's a good one.
1,000 miners on HRT, he says.
Yeah. According to him, it might be a little exaggerated.
Well, yeah, maybe. This one looks interesting. When I was covering it on stream, a teenager from Texas in chat said when the ban on people under 18 receiving gender-affirming care happened, he used this director to continue medical transition. This is the path forward to help kids affected by these laws. So he seems to have admitted on, is that Twitter? Yeah, that's Twitter. That he's peddling these homemade hormones to minors. Which, that's definitely illegal, but good luck prosecuting for that once again, so they're not going to do it. And then the social justice warriors, you'll probably get the ACLU or something after you hiring lawyers for them. So, yeah, what are you going to do about this? It's interesting, though, that this is the opponent to kiwi farms. Like, they talk about the big bad kiwi farms, one of the unholy trinity aside from 4chan and 8chan, uh, rest in peace. Like is full of Nazis and how horrible they are, and this is what you have to represent the opposing side. This is the opposition to Kiwi Farms. Is this man pretending to be a woman and trying to convince more teenagers on the internet to become women as well. Um, but yeah, then you're probably not ever going to get any significant backlash against them. The media isn't going to talk about it because they're not going to say anything about like, oh well, you shouldn't groom minors into doing medical transition. In fact, it's the opinion of a lot of quote unquote experts that they should be doing it. Anytime somebody who's struggling with some kind of gender dysphoria goes to some kind of clinic for sexual focusing on sexual disorders, they'll immediately tell them to start hormone treatment. It shows you whose hands that industry is in.
Well, you're not even allowed to criticize the practice. That's one of the big problems.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even question why you're doing something. It's like, hey, is this really the best thing? Which is, not being able to question something isn't the scientific method,
It's hate
is it?
speech.
It's more of a
You're
almost like a
murdering
religious belief.
you're murdering trans women with your
Yeah,
opinions.
that's what they'll say.
If you say that 2 + 2 isn't 5, you are literally hurting real people and causing them to commit suicide.
Yeah, like that's your responsibility.
Yeah. Well, it's bullshit. Like, whenever they talk about how people are causing them, like, their 40 or 50 or whatever the hell it is percent suicide rate is because of oppression and not being accepted, it's total bullshit because you have lots of things to compare it to. All the people who have had general hatred against them in the history of this country, like blacks a long time ago, the Irish, the Greeks, and any group of immigrant that was being introduced in the history of the U.S. went through a very similar situation, and you didn't, as far as I know, maybe they'll say, oh, it just wasn't documented, but as far as I know, there hasn't been such a ridiculously huge suicide rate among any group. So you might
all those
you might
Irish
question,
people committing suicide.
yeah, you'd think there would have been some kind of documentation of that if that was the case. So being oppressed doesn't cause a huge generalized group of trend of suicide in a group. So you might start asking what's different about them. And I think there's a higher suicide rate among gays and lesbians, homosexuals, than the general population, but not nearly as high as transsexuals. So you couldn't name that as the independent factor.
That doesn't matter. Because that's what they say. Well, what they say is that you're causing violence, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And that's their lived experience.
Oh, that's their anecdotal experience?
Yeah.
Well,
so
it's just what they attribute the suicide rate to. Because they can't say it's because they're messing up. They're screwing with one of the like fundamental aspects of their biological being.
the ability to reproduce as well.
That's part of it, but like they're trying to change something about themselves that's very very core to your whole physical body. It's something that manifests visually and in your mannerisms and behavior and in your voice, in your personality. Um, and I see a few of them. Like I said, I'm a computer science student, so I interact with I interact with them not infrequently, and I'm very nice to them in person. By the way, I speak out against this as a movement, but I wouldn't like bully an individual in person, and I usually call them whatever they want to be called if it's not something ridiculous. Um, and not because I'm a coward, just because I don't think you do any good by doing that. Like I just think about what should we do that actually matters, and what are things that don't really matter where you may as well not do it because you're just harming an individual and not doing them any good, and possibly turning people around you against your cause as well. So I'm nice to them, but like I think part of it is just like everyone sees them and everyone knows, and they know that everyone knows. Like you can see in everyone's eyes, like they're looking at them and they know. And so like their delusion that they're trying to live falls apart just anytime they interact with anybody. I think even when they interact with people who are like who agree with their side, um, like they can still kind of sense the disparity between how they would act normally with a person who is behaving how a normal person would and how they actually are. Um, so it's you're messing up something that's very core to your being. It's like it's like removing your skeleton and trying to live a normal life. Um, so honestly, no wonder. Anyway,
Hmm.
how did we get onto? Oh yeah, because of Keffels. Yeah,
I don't know.
he's very
Probably
ugly.
Queen.
By the way, he doesn't pass as well. He doesn't pass at all, as most don't, because you can tell in your facial structure. Very few men have a feminine enough face to pass as a woman. You can see it in the jaw, you can see it in the nose bridge, you can see it in the brow, in the hairline, in the shape of the skull, in the shape of the cheekbones, in the shape of the lips. That's why I keep saying it's something so deep in your physical being. It's like it's something that's down at the center, and you're trying to change all of these superficial things, trying to convince everyone that what's beneath it is different, but the thing beneath it keeps manifesting itself.
Well, it's not like. Oh, there's the copy pasta. You know,
About the
you
womb and
evolved
the
for
ovaries.
millions of years to sniff out fertility. So any tiny little sign that
You can. So one of these dudes, who's in one of my classes. Actually, he's in a couple of my classes. Um, I only saw him out of the corner of my eye at first, and he's wearing girls' clothes, and has either long hair or extensions or something. It's always all curled and stuff. He puts a lot of effort into it, to his credit, which many of them don't. But I didn't look closely at him, and so I just thought out of the corner of my eye that's a girl. So one of the one in 30 people in a CS class who's a girl. And then
wrong.
wrong. I heard his voice, and he has a reasonably good girl voice, but is like in the energy of his voice is like it was a little too loud, a little too robust,
Hmm.
and I was like, wait, something's off. And I looked closely. I looked a little closer, and yeah, sure enough. I'm pretty good with voices, though. I can often tell things about people just from their voice. But yeah, it's hard to get rid of all of the it's hard to get rid of all of the parts of you that manifest because of your actual biological sex. We're different on a physical and mental and spiritual level, and all you can do is try to make inconsequential changes to the superficial layers of your being, while the thing that actually lies beneath is going to keep messing you up.
Well, we've harped on it, so I don't know what good it does to talk about this subject.
What more can we say?
Another.
What more can we say about Keffels? He's another Discord groomer trying to tell teenagers to become transsexuals. Yeah.
A dime a dozen.
I guess the takeaway from it, though, is it's interesting how in so many of these situations, the supposedly evil 4chan or 8chan or Kiwi Farms or whatever are definitely the good guys and are actually doing something good, like for society, for the world, for people. And the people opposing them are the actual evil ones. Which I'm not just saying that facetiously. I don't know. I've been going to 4chan for a little over 10 years, and I always saw it as like a bad thing that I was doing. Like, I'm going to this board full of like edgy people who are like everything wrong with the world, but it's fun. It's fun, so I do it anyway. Well, I feel very at home among them. I feel like they're my people. They're people who are kind of on the same wavelength as me, which is rare for me. But I started thinking about in the last couple of years if I should stop, and I decided that I don't think I should, because even though they're edgy and defensive and they seem bad, and there are a lot of bad people there, but like, it's not all one person. There'll be a variety of opinions on any subject, but I generally believe that they are a force of good in the world. Like, really, not just like they're opposing the SJWs. I think a lot of them are really good people who are just, kind of outcasts in society. So anyway, what else? I don't see anybody in the chat yet other than me.
I probably should have leveled these guys up before sending them on a random mission.
We can switch whenever you want. I can play my game as long as I need, as long as I want.
Well, they're just low level and they're getting their asses beat in melee.
At
least that one guy did. Yeah, the first sergeant died first thing. So that's good. That's kind of what happens in Warhammer, though. Your guys die.
You've been really into Warhammer for like a few years now, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You have a reasonably sized collection of the actual figurines?
Yes, I do.
Hey, nothing to be ashamed of. I've done stuff way weirder than that.
They are... what army do I have? I have Space Wolves, which isn't very like unique or anything. But I don't know. They were on sale and I bought them. So obviously my first models that I got were painted horribly, and I have since repainted the first generation that I owned, but since then, I don't know. I've gotten really good at painting. I've actually sold couple
Gotta get my
painted
other keyboard
models
out.
just from a profit, so that was pretty cool. But I wouldn't. I don't
Sounds
think
like a
you can
machine
actually
gun when
make
I type on
money
this.
off of it.
Okay. Well, I didn't figure that was the point of it anyway. Is
No.
there like a board game that you use them for? I think I asked that before, but I forgot.
So yeah. So what you're seeing is like a video game version of one of the board games that they
Oh.
have.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um, there's also like a war game type deal that they have, and that is generally what people play when they refer to playing Warhammer. Um, but yeah, the it's pretty commonly played. It's not as common as like Magic the Gathering or Dungeons and Dragons, but it's high up there. It's pretty commonly played among that type of circle. So
Cool. No, I think it's cool, although I haven't ever really gotten into it. I noticed they use the either these guys, they're called Space Marines, right?
yeah,
They use them or characters who look similar to them in a lot of memes and videos and stuff of like them infiltrating something or other, like furries or the pony world, the MLP world, and committing genocide or whatever. Like
yeah, that's a pretty
there's
common practice in their world in the
okay,
lore
so they
is to blow up planets and that sort of thing. So.
they go onto a planet of deviant of of uh, of lower life forms and cleanse them from existence.
Yeah. The problem is the owners of this IP are not exactly. I don't know. They're not like super pure themselves or anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Their social or political affiliations.
Well, they've been known for kind of doing the whole. They toe the message just like every other company. I'm about to
Okay.
die here.
Oh, with like the Pride Month stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so there's been a social movement of like trying to get female space marines into the game,
Okay.
which the reason like there's in lore reasons for that not being the case. Like, well, I don't know. So, God, I can't go too deep into Warhammer lore on this stream. I suppose I could, but um,
Cliff Notes version.
okay. So basically, there's this guy called the Emperor, and he made uh, genetic monsters, I guess, and those genetic monsters then are used to create Space Marines, which are normal people, but just with they're genetically modified and they have extra parts put into them. So
Okay.
basically, they use Space Marines for pl- uh, planetary scale war with aliens.
Are
But
they cyborgs or are they just wearing armor?
they are cyborgs and they have enhanced organs and such.
Okay.
So, yes to everything. Um, I mean, in lore they're really powerful, but on the tabletop they die. So
um,
you'd think if you read the books and stuff that like they'd be nearly invincible, but that is not so much the case. And I think my game is broken. I don't know. I've got a black screen, so we might switch to yours a little early here.
Okay. Can you check the YouTube and see if our voices sound alright? Because
Mhm.
it's peaking on yours a lot, and I'm worried that I set it too high. This microphone's really quiet, so I had to tell the software to artificially raise the volume, to normalize the volume really high.
You could turn my voice down a little bit, but it sounds okay to me.
Okay. I'll do it just a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
350% instead of 400. Oh, you turned it off. Okay.
I love living in a big city where the electric bill is $200.
Oh my gosh.
That's super awesome. Actually, it's over 200, but
That's crazy.
yeah.
Because of being in the city, was that?
I don't know. So I live in the south, the deep south, and basically the AC has to be running all the time.
Yeah,
or
that
we'll
would be
melt.
part of it. AC and computers will burn your power real fast.
Yeah, but I don't know, cause like we were roommates and we had an AC and two gaming computers running at the same time, and I don't think we reached $200.
No. It's actually kind of nice at my current place. My rent is probably higher than it should be. And just because of, like, the housing bubble market that's going on right now. But it's, we just pay the rent money, and that goes into utilities, I guess. So it's all one payment. So really, taking all of the utilities that we would have otherwise had to pay into account, I probably actually pay a reasonable price on this room that I'm in.
Mhm.
Oh, make sure you're not breathing into your mic. I noticed that on the previous one. If it's right beneath your nose, then raise it up a little bit.
Right. Keep adjusting the mic.
Okay. I'm doing this again because I wanted
That's
to.
what I call schizo posting.
Oh, actually, I should probably not put you right.
The queen is dead. Checkmate.
The queen is dead, boys. I don't know the rest of that song. Let's do this. What was I? I think I'm Boba by this time.
Fascist regime.
Now the monarchy continues.
Catboy Ranch, Lamau.
If you have more stuff on Keffels, we can do that. I don't know. Oh gosh, there's not very many people.
What did we talk about? So Keffels has been crusading against Kiwi Farms. We know about this, and it seems like they got their army of Twitter followers to campaign, fill up Cloudflare's email. How could you support this? It's just hate speech. I'm literally going to kill myself unless you take this website down.
I'm gonna tell. Who are they gonna tell on them? They'll tell
We're gonna
BlackRock
tell
and
the
they'll
internet
lower their
mom,
ESG
yeah.
score.
I'm gonna tell your internet mom on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I hit himself.
ESG. Cloudflare's ESG score.
Yeah. Yep. They have to make sure they're being good boys. Make sure they're being good guys, or they might mess up their investments.
Yep. Be a good little boy or girl or Cyril.
Or Cyril or Thurl.
Or
they
or-
they're all.
You know, goy is gender neutral. per 6-in.
Goy is
Nothing
gender
Goy or
neutral.
Go.
We're all equally scum in their eyes.
We need more Goy slop.
That's
But
what
we
I.
can't spend too much money on it. Get them to stop eating meat. If you
Yeah,
eat bugs,
they're.
it'll save the environment.
We need to spend less money on Goy feed. All this McDonald's and Burger King. It's costing too
You
many
know, they could
shekels.
just campaign for people to just eat less in general because people are overweight. But then that might cut into profits, so. Hmm. What's the solution?
We need a solution.
Can you think of a solution?
A final solution? Well, we just need. Oh,
Not
that's
for more
totally.
money.
Oh wait, no, never mind. We need. We need less expensive Goy Chow.
I like your avatar.
Yeah, I thought you. You remember back in middle school, you had that that manga of Bobobo,
Yeah.
and you gave it to Austin, and I think someone took it from him, one of the like school administrators or his parents or something, and they threw it away. They threw it in a
Yeah.
trash can. And I was walking down the hall as he was being led somewhere. This guy, our friend, was always in trouble with either his parents or the school or somebody. He was loads
God
of fun.
damn.
Um,
That
and
manga's worth $40 now.
oh my gosh, do you still have it? Oh crap!
No.
I screwed up.
I guess that's why it's people.
So I was walking into the school as he was walking out, being led by the ear from like his mom or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, Craig, go down the hall and look in the trash can and get the books that are in it. with his mom right there. This dude did not give a shit. He was
Well,
he was the one who corrupted me, you could say.
his parents were not so kind to him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. His parents were weird. They kind of messed him up. I think he has a reasonable relationship with them now, but yeah, they were part of the problem. Anyway, we shouldn't get into that on the stream. I already said his first name. Oops. Anyway, he told me to go get it, and I did. I got that and one other book. I don't remember what it was. I don't think the other one was yours, but man, I'm not doing super good. I haven't played this for a little while. I'm a little off my game right now. Yeah, so I went and got it, and one of them was your Bobobo manga, and I read the whole thing in about 2 or 3 days. I was so captivated by it. I think I had seen the anime dubbed, obviously, on.
The dub is really bad though, because Beauty's voice is extremely annoying. I mean,
Well,
as a
as a
character,
kid,
she's annoying. But
as a kid, like we saw it late at night one time when my parents were gone, me and probably my first two siblings, and yeah, sometimes we would see that or like Naruto or One Piece on TV if we were watching TV later at night, and then we were usually allowed to stay up. Oh, I ended up pulling it off. And we saw that, and it was the dub, but we thought it was like the greatest thing we'd ever seen. Like we were laughing so hard we couldn't breathe, because you know it's really random, and that was our first kind of experience with that. I hadn't really been introduced to the internet yet.
it's a good. I didn't. The show's good. I think it would still hold up. But
they do a reasonable job, like holding up the humor in the English dub, but there's so much like plays on words and like cultural stuff and things that don't translate well in the Japanese version, that it's really hard. So they did a decent job for what they had to work with, but it doesn't hold a candle to the original. You have to watch the original to understand the humor.
Yeah, they also took out some of the more violent jokes, I guess. 'Cause
Oh yeah, yeah. Freaking 4 Kids. I remember everyone talking about that. Yeah, they took out a lot of the funniest stuff. Like that one guy who has a poop head. They changed it to. I think they redrew it as him being pink, and they said that it was ice cream instead of poop.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, they did
no,
stuff
no.
like that.
I very distinctly remember one page of the comic where like Don Patch and Bobo are like they reunite, and it's being set up as like oh, we're such good friends, but then like
Oh, and they're
you
gonna
turn the
hug each
page,
other, right?
yeah, and then
Yeah, I
like
know
he
the part.
maces him in the face with a ball and chain,
I remember.
and
Yeah.
of course there's blood everywhere too. So
Oh, there was blood. Oh, I forgot that.
yeah, that
What
was
did?
one of the bigger things. Is like there's blood in the manga, but there wasn't blood in the show.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe the anime itself was trying to be more for kids or whatever.
Yeah, there could
Uh,
be
what did
Japanese laws against
what
too
did they
much blood.
change in the
Or,
English version? Do you remember?
mm, I think he just punched him or something.
Okay, it's it's still passable. But at least they
Yeah.
didn't make it like change it to something stupid like him lecturing him or something. 4 Kids would do that kind of thing all the time. They would screw up all the jokes. Oh, crap! I screwed that up. Dang it.
There was one character who actually you probably couldn't make this joke at all, but there was one character who like he had a bucket on his head, and then they take the bucket off, and he almost looks like a girl. He's like really pretty, and then he punches that guy in the face. I don't know. I forgot how the joke is set up, and then like they start making out, like, and they're brothers, and then someone commented that it was gross for multiple reasons. I don't know, that like you don't really see that sort of humor now.
They slowly became less and less edgy. Like they
Yeah.
started worrying more about both in American and Japanese cartoons. Like back in the '60s, nobody gave a shit. They did like the most edgy jokes possible. I saw a clip of Looney Tunes. Oh dang it! I thought that was a mushroom off the end of the corner of my eye. I saw this. Oh, I saw this clip of Looney Tunes the other day. And it was Bugs Bunny, and he was like a colonist. And
He's like shooting at
yeah,
Native
he was
Americans.
shooting Native Americans and was singing that "One Little, Two Little, Three Little Indians" song every time he shot, and making tally marks on the wall next to him.
Yeah.
And then he erases half of one of the tally marks, and he's like, "Oops, that one was a half breed." Yeah, like they
I bet
could
they'd
do
like to keep
anything
that
they
one under
wanted.
wraps.
What?
I bet they'd like to keep that one under wraps. Don't
Oh, that's the
Don't look
N64
into
one.
it. That's in
Yeah,
the past.
yeah. Slowly over time, '80s, '90s, and now, they started
Yeah, a lot of
thinking
people are
more about.
celebrating about the Queen dying because Britain's history of
Because of their
colonization
history
and all
of
that.
colonialism.
Yeah, but then
Yes.
you'll look at like
Yes, Slay
Bugs
Queen.
Bunny shooting Native Americans, and then they'll go, "Oh, they were culturally different back then."
I mean, there are a lot of people who are still mad about it. I guess, though, like, what are they going to do? Like, are they going to cancel Warner Bros? Not likely.
Yes, they have to retire Bugs Bunny.
They have to cancel Bugs Bunny. They've
Yeah.
made several reboots of Looney Tunes stuff in the last decade or so, but all of them suck because Hollywood sucks now and doesn't have any good artists in it. Which one we got?
I
Oh,
agree.
Ribbon Road. Okay. Whenever we do Ribbon Road, I get anxiety over if I'm going to try to do these really hard shortcuts that are in it. I'm probably just not going to do them. But every time I see them, I'll be tempted to do them, and I'll probably screw it up. Watch this, you can do this whole part in one drift. Oh, you're probably... I'm not streaming to you, so you'll see that in about 30 seconds. Oh. I hope my switch isn't too loud. Ah, dang it.
Ah.
Here I go.
Of course,
Oh, no, never mind.
I guess in Looney Tunes, real people weren't affected, but they seem to care about the cultural impact of media quite a bit. So, speaking of,
I don't know what.
you've got Rings of Power that came out. So, okay,
Yeah, we
we talked
roasted that
about
a
this
little bit last week, but yeah, we could do that more.
Yeah, so
I'm sure
that
they deserve it.
the Black Dwarf lady is the prince's
I feel
wife.
so bad. I keep hitting that DK over and over. He just happens to be in my way every time.
I get so there's no. It's like every bit of modern writing that you've seen. So it's almost like a Marvel series, but with a Tolkien skin on it.
Okay, so the same kind of like silly, kind of random, sarcastic humor mixed into scenes where it totally clashes with whatever's going on.
No, I guess there's not so much humor, but like
Okay.
they'll try to do like epic fight scenes twice every episode, I'd say. So you'll have like an elf doing like a jumping, flying sword thrust at an orc.
I'm not doing it. I tried to do it several times, but I kept...
I just can't.
Okay.
I literally can't even.
Lots of fight scenes. Are they well choreographed, at least?
I guess.
I'll have to see it.
Well, you'll look at the older Lord of the Rings movies, and like there will be fight scenes in that, but they won't be. They're not flashy in the same way that these are. Does that make sense? So like you'll have sword fights, but the characters won't like jump off a wall and do a backflip and stab a monster in the head, except for Legolas, who does that. But like every single person is doing it.
Oh, you mean in the old Lord of the Rings movies?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
the
the kind of stuff they did for the Legolas moves, everybody's doing that?
Yeah, and Legolas would do it like once.
Yeah,
but
they'd have
everyone's doing them all the time.
Yeah, they'd have one or two scenes in the big fights where, like, in some sort of subpar CGI of Legolas taking down one of the big elephants or whatever.
Yeah.
I heard they do that with, what was her name? One of the boss elf ladies. Is it Galadriel?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does that kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah, she does. She's doing it near constantly. There's one scene where she's stuck out in the middle of the ocean and is swimming all day.
Okay.
There's
Probably
literally
get
nothing
tired.
she can't do, it seems, so,
I mean, whatever. Like, I didn't even know she was a fighter. I assumed she was like a mage or something. But whatever. It's kind of annoying because her character was very, I knew that was going to happen. In Lord of the Rings, I didn't read the books, and I don't know a lot of the lore, so maybe somebody can tell me if I'm wrong, but she was very nonchalant didn't like non-excessive, not the type of person who would be show-offy. But I don't know. Maybe she calmed down when she was older or whatever. But that seems like them kind of messing up her character just for like cheap thrills.
I mean, it could be, but the way it's presented is that she's always been an amazing fighter.
Okay.
Which, if you've just watched the original movies, you
Someone
would
steal my star.
believe that she's like a somewhat aloof oracle type character.
Do you know what is actually more accurate, just based on the lore? What's the Silmarillion have to say about it?
So, what?
The Silmarillion. You know about that?
Silmarillion?
Everyone go look up the Silmarillion if you don't know what it is. Is this guy on slash
Oh, that's why it's not going to come up.
SP, I think. Who was stalking one of the trip fags there and wrote a lot about him. And they compiled it into a really long PDF. It's like 90 pages long. Go look at. I have it on my computer. I'll send it to you if you want. Anyway, it's good stuff. Great read. One of the best books ever. A New York Times bestseller.
I don't know if.
Anyway, you know
Galadriel's in the Silmarillion.
No? Okay. Well,
The only character I'm seeing here is Melkor and Fëanor.
Do you know like the lore of Lord of the Rings a lot, or does your girlfriend? Your girlfriend knows, doesn't she?
She would know a lot. She hasn't read the Silmarillion. She tried to, but it was.
I feel like if she joins the conversation, no, I think I know what her opinion about whether the Rings of Power is being true to the original series is going to be.
Well, she'll give you the feminist lens version, so
yeah, she'll repeat whatever she read on Huffington Post or something. So never mind. I don't want to know. That's you got to think about that kind of thing before you take somebody's opinion. Think about what their internalized biases are going to be, so to speak.
You should listen to the opinion of people who consume no media ever.
What I figure the best compromise you can have is you can listen to as moderate as you can possibly get from the moderate right and from the moderate left, and then try to piece the story together from whatever details each of them give you.
Who would some moderate left-leaning personalities be?
Moderate left is the slightly less crazy.
I guess Tim Pool.
Media.
I'd consider moderate left.
No, he calls himself a liberal, but he's definitely more conservative than liberal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's really not a liberal. I don't think he has any real liberal opinions.
He's liberal about abortion.
Tim Pool is?
Which, yeah, so, okay. I mean, the main thing, well, yeah, we've talked about this, but the main argument you'll hear for abortion is that the government shouldn't be controlling your body, what you do with your body, right?
Okay.
Which, I mean, on the surface, it sounds pretty reasonable because...
Fucking assholes with their green shells, man. Damn. Sorry.
You wouldn't want, say, the government forcing you into an abortion like they do in China. But it's not the government that got you pregnant.
No, yeah, forced abortion and forced not abortion are two very different things. Oh, come on.
Then you can make the case for, in instances of rape, but I don't... obviously, there's some government policies where you can't abort after a rape because, the abortion laws were written maybe a little too absolutely.
Anyway, whatever. We can come back to that if you want. You were in the middle of something else, though.
Yeah. Anyway, we've talked about it.
Damn it. You're talking about. What are we talking about? Oh, we're talking about left. Who are the moderate left and moderate right people?
Right.
Moderate left is the slightly less crazy ones. So, like, I would say Politico.
Would Beto O'Rourke be a moderate left personality?
Most mainstream Democrats are, I guess, moderate left. Thing is, though, they'll still bend the knee when the far left is.
Yeah, they don't want to get
the consensus on some subject.
They won't want to get canceled or
like
from the party.
If far left is like children should be allowed to receive sex hormones, and the moderate left is I don't know, what would moderate?
You have to wait until they're at least 13.
Wait until they're like 15. How about that? So maybe that's the moderate left take. Then the far left is still going to control it because they're going to say you're being bigots and you're killing trans babies or whatever, and they're going to bend the knee because the left is controlled by the most militant among them.
Among us.
The most among us. The murderer is among us. So, anyway. Yeah, Politico, which is supposedly a neutral... fucking... damn it.
Politico's neutral.
Well, they were supposedly neutral, but they're not.
But they're not.
But they pretend to be neutral, and so what they actually are is slightly less crazy than other lefties. Oh my fucking gosh. Ugh.
Yes.
Game makes me pull my
What do you
hair
think of the upcoming blue wave?
we're going to talk about... Oh, whatever. We can go back to that in a sec. That's... So, I guess... So, you have... BuzzFeed. Hold on. I have to pull my head. I have to pull one of my...
BuzzFeed's still a thing? It must be.
I have to pull my headphone ear off. I realized I can't do my impressions as well if I can't hear myself. So I have to take my headphones partly off. So you have BuzzFeed, and they tell... they tell... the liberals... I swear, I've been hit by like 4 bombs this match. These guys are crazy.
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of him.
We're gonna bomb the shit out of him. Oh, not quite. They have BuzzFeed, and they tell them that there's gonna be a blue wave because of Roe v. Wade or whatever. Asshole, damn.
Well, that's the thing. Is
not.
If your side's convinced that they're gonna lose, they won't even bother to vote. They're not even gonna show up. So
yeah, that's why they say it. Yeah.
I mean, both sides do it.
We're
winning. We're winning. We just need you to come and vote because we're winning so big.
Gosh. That was terrible. These people.
You don't want to be on the losing side, do you, kid?
Yeah. Oh, that was what I was thinking about. In 2016, they really were going hard on there's no possible way that Trump could ever win. Like, it's impossible. Like, every media talking head and every late show host.
Well, I thought that was the case.
Yeah, a lot of people did, yeah. It depended what voices you were listening to. That was what they wanted, is they figured if they're hopeless, then they won't even try.
Then they'll have no hope, and then they'll be so depressed, and then they'll cut their wrists and kill their wives.
We want absolute despair. Damn it, I always forget to refill my water bottle when we do this.
That's where you messed up.
That's where your first mistake was. Okay. I usually have good luck on this one. Watch me jinx myself and get last place because of that. Anyway.
And they don't.
So
Anyway,
moderate
we're
right.
talking about Lord of the Rings.
You have people who are moderate right, like Joe Biden, right, and Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah.
That's
Good old moderate beta.
Yeah, moderate right. So
That's why he's a beta. It's because he's not hardcore.
Yeah, because he's not hardcore right. That's why they wouldn't let him be the Democratic nominee. So
yeah, that's why.
a lot of people in like right after the election were saying stuff like, oh, why are they so mad? Biden's like literally exactly the same as Trump. He's very slightly to the left of Trump. And he's not, okay? He's a mouth-frothing liberal, like they all are.
Do you think his student loan forgiveness will go through? They made a big deal about it, probably because midterms are coming up.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
you don't vote for the Democrats during the midterms, you won't get your student loan.
I'm sure. Okay, well, that's what he ran on, and then they didn't do it. He
Well,
said,
if you do it too soon, then you'll...
you can't run on it in your during midterms or in your next election. You know what? Maybe he'll wait till 2024 to give you your student loan forgiveness, to make sure that, like, you know that you need to vote for him in 2024. Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to
if you keep voting for them when they say they're going to give you your monies, they're going to give you your gimme dats, your autism bucks, and they keep not doing it, that is because you're stupid, and you deserve to get your balls chopped off. Well, okay, maybe that wouldn't be a threat to some of them. You need to be hung from your toes and paddled.
Booga booga.
Is what needs to happen. So, well, I don't know. Are they actually going to do that if they... fucking hell.
They'll say they are trying, but then it's the big mean Republicans stopping us.
They certainly have the money to do it. If they didn't give... Oh, wow. I did it again. Okay.
You know, they hired 87,000 IRS agents.
Yeah, if they weren't spending so much money on government, on the paychecks of high-level government positions, and if they weren't... oh, man. I still want to do Rainbow Road, though. If they weren't sending... What's the total of our foreign aid checks? There's something like 100 billion going to the Middle East as a whole. I don't know if that's including Israel or if Israel is separate, because Israel is something like 30 or 40 billion every year, which it could save countless Jewish lives. But is it enough? Are you kidding? One of the randoms got it.
Article from 2021, nearly 300 billion in foreign aid spent by U.S. government.
Which is that's like $1/3 of $1 trillion. That's insane. So imagine
that was over a total amount of time. 2018, it was 50 billion. Which
so in the last 4 years, it was 250. Anyway,
I think we gave like 40 to Ukraine, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we spent the entirety of
at least some of the time we've been giving upward of 30 to Israel.
So Israel's getting 3/4 of this. For the majority.
3/4 of that money, of the numbers you just said to me.
Yeah. So 2016, it's 50 billion. 2017, it's 47 billion.
More than 40.
2018, it's 46 billion. So they're getting around
lives, but
75%. 2014, 43 billion. 2015.
See, this is part of the problem. This asshat is in last place every game, and he gets lightning over and over.
We're trying to play a game here in front. Come on.
Get out. Get him out. Get him the hell out of here.
You say, get out. Get out. That's okay.
So, yeah, Israel is apparently getting $40 to $50 billion every year. And they're the only high-income nation that gets anywhere near that amount of money. Like, if you look at a chart comparing the average income level of the citizens, I think is what it's judged by, or it might be GDP. But anyway, to amount of money that we're giving them, the only country that's like in the billions, or let alone the tens of billions, that is a high-income country, is Israel. Which we could save countless Jewish lives, but is it enough? We need to withdraw from the Middle East. That was probably the reason we were there in the first place. That was why they had Bush do 9/11.
Okay, 2022. It's kind of hard to find this information, isn't it?
Search it on something that is not Google, and look far down in the search results.
I'll have to put United States in.
Search it on Yandex. Russia has no need to conceal it.
U.S. foreign aid by country.
I probably have something like that saved on my computer somewhere. I'd have to go dig it up, though. I'm not sure which folder it's in either. I'll go find it for you later and send it to you. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I guess it's just because like they're being attacked by all those bad dudes like Palestine, and we just need to save them. The U.S. needs to go and save them. They're God's chosen people, after all. You're not a real Christian if you don't support Israel.
4 ways to understand the $54 billion in U.S. spending on Ukraine. May 20, 2022, by the New York
I
Times.
thought it was going to be Israel. I'm less interested now. That is like the most globo homo news article title I've ever heard, though. It's not actually that bad, guys. Actually, that doesn't quite measure up to it's time to give the
50
elites more
billion
power.
is a lot, though.
Wait, was there another loan after the 40 billion one? Oh, not quite.
So this could have been over a longer period of time, but yeah.
Oh, the total over several loans?
No, that's just Ukraine.
No, I mean, is that a total amount that we gave to Ukraine or something?
Doesn't say.
Whatever. And I don't care. I don't know. We speculated about the motives for Ukraine. But...
Oh boy.
Oh, gosh. Ah!
Wow. The United States has given way more than all of the European Union and other countries. Wonder why that is. Why are we the pay pigs for that, huh?
To Ukraine?
Yeah.
I don't know, because
Why do we...
It's our burden. It's the white man's burden.
You remind me why we care about this so much.
Yeah, it's weird how, like, there's been this whole media spectacle about Ukraine, as opposed to...
Because heckin' Zelensky is the man, dude.
Oh my gosh, is it that same guy again?
Yes. Kill him.
Freaking
Go to his house and kill him.
I'm gonna go... I'm coming to kill you! At your house!
In real life.
in the ring, right? No, in real life.
He's a Chad.
We can aspire everyone to be as manly and as alpha as Sam Hyde. What a
Make
good-
real threats to real people.
on live television. I'm amazed that he's not in jail by now. He's done several things that you would think, like, if somebody who Globo Homo didn't like had done all the things he's done, they would probably be in jail for a long time. So I don't know why he's not, but somehow he's managed to avoid it. I don't like any of these. There was this whole thing with some with one of those 4chan girls. She was like, they got together, and she was like 15 or 16 at the time. But who knows if it actually happened. A lot of people claimed that it did. I don't know. He seems... I don't know how he would be... Like, if you... UNLV, guy from Vegas here.
He would probably... He's doing an act, for sure, because...
Yeah. I assume...
There's one segment on his podcast where he talked about how a guy called in and said, "Oh, haha, you inspired me to start smoking weed." And then he says, "Don't do that," because there's no positive aspect to it. There's no positive aspect to smoking weed.
Okay.
And that if there's any part of his act that might inspire you to do that, then it's obviously a joke, and you shouldn't modify your life in this way to for a joke. You know?
All right. I assume he is different in person, but I feel like it probably is not terribly far off how he is in the videos where he's talking like seriously about things, like about the government. Oh my fucking gosh. About the government or about society. Hate these people. Anyway, he seems like I don't know, he's funny, but I think maybe he'd be a little bit tiresome to be around in real life.
Lots of people. I think a lot of entertainers are like that.
Yeah. I deserve this. I deserve this bullet. Oh, wow, that did not last me very long. Yeah, leave me alone!
I sure do love Nintendo.
Freaking ghost. Someone sent a ghost on me right as I was about to use a mushroom to go through the shortcut that I needed the mushroom for. This is bad karma. I think I've done something wrong in my life. Or these people are just assholes. Doing it on purpose. Go away! Oh my gosh! A million thread shell that hit me that time. It's probably why. It's because I'm playing with multiple people who have more than 30,000 points on this. Well, what were we talking about before we got on Sam Hyde?
I don't know. I would say, so I fell into a rabbit hole for a little bit there, because I was wondering what operating system Nintendo Switches run on.
What operating system? I know they have their own coding language that their games are made in, but obviously...
Yeah, it doesn't...
I kind of assume they have their own thing.
I it seems like it's FreeBSD a
Really?
little bit. Yes,
Wait, does it
that's
say
what
so somewhere?
PlayStation. I'm reading Wikipedia.
Is that what it says, or does it just sound similar?
They say the um the operating system itself is proprietary and it's not based off of Linux. Part of the network code seems to be based off of FreeBSD.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not based off of Android,
Gosh.
as people have speculated. But that makes sense because if it were a derivative of any Linux, they would have to provide source code for it under the GNU license. So
But you know Nintendo ain't doing any of that.
no, fuck no.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Nintendo is super stingy about all their stuff. They they get in lawsuits with people all the time.
Yeah. In fact, we're kind of putting a target on ourselves by streaming their games, which you'd think they would want, but
No, yeah,
they don't.
they
do it
figured.
that way.
I think Bungie figured out. Oh, you fucking assholes! Damn it! Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I thought it was...
Depends on the game, though, because there's some games where it's like, yeah, if I've seen a stream of it, it would kind of ruin the experience.
Some people
Because I did
think
see some streams of the Amnesia game, Machine for Pigs,
Mm.
and it did ruin it for me because I knew what was going to happen. So
Oh, yeah. That's your own fault. You shouldn't have watched it.
I know.
There are some people, apparently, some quote unquote people, who believe that you can say that you like a game after having watched somebody play it on a stream, and that blows my mind. You are not a fan. It was more like if you're a fan of a game. If you call yourself a fan of a certain game, when you haven't actually played it, you've only watched a stream of someone playing it. You are not, okay? You don't know anything about being a fan of whatever until you've actually played it yourself. And if you think that you are a fan of something when you haven't actually played it and you've only watched somebody on the internet played it, I'm gonna come to your house and kill you right now.
I don't know if this is a reference.
No,
Or...
no, that is. I'm not referencing anything. That is all my genuine feelings on that subject.
Oh, okay.
Every time I bring it up, people argue with me about it as well. So it's like not an uncommon opinion to have either. Well, with some games like
Bada bing.
with the some games like Ghost of what was that called?
Ghost of Kiev.
Ghost of Kiev. Tsushima or something to that effect. I forgot what it's called. What's a game where you could make that argument for? If you're talking about freaking, I don't know, Heavy Rain, or like
well, games where
Last
you
of
don't
Us-
want to be bothered to play it. And
The
you
Last
wanna
of
know
Us
what
2.
happens.
Maybe I would even say that for games like no, never mind. I don't think that. Never mind. I was about to say the shoot, I forgot the title of that one as well. Anyway, for something like The Last of Us 2, or I don't know, those games that are basically press X not to die. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's basically a movie. If you're talking about like, I don't know.
So the majority of PlayStation's flagship games, you could watch them and
Yeah.
get the same experience.
Don't hit me with anything, and don't shoot me with a ghost either. Gosh dang it.
Shoot me with a ghost.
Don't shoot me with a ghost. I hate this map, and I hate these people who I'm playing it with.
Why?
They're all
You
bad.
racist, huh?
They're all bad. All of these people are probably whatever bad things there are about people in the world.
Yeah.
What was
They
I
leave their
talking?
dog in a hot car.
All of these people have dogs that they leave in hot cars.
Exactly. In Arizona. So the
Isn't
dog
there a
has about
Beatles
30
song about
seconds
that?
before it dies. Yeah. Oh, it's okay to leave your dog in a hot car.
That's right. I
Yeah.
remember. That's right. The Beatles hated dogs. Did you know that? All you
Yeah,
Beatles
I knew
fans,
that.
all you girls who talk about how cute Ringo or whatever is,
Do
they all hated
you
dogs.
like the Beatles?
Do I like the Beatles?
Do you like the Beatles?
They're okay. They're really overrated. They'll talk about how like they're like one of the most important or most influential or best or most successful bands in history. I wish I had that copy pasta memorized. I don't. Not true, by the way.
I mean, I don't listen to any of their music, so I guess I don't like them that much. But
So they're fine. They're a good pop rock band. They were good songwriters. They had way more hits than most famous musicians do. Probably more than almost anyone. So they're very good songwriters. Um, they're not. They're cited as being like these great artists and how influential and how daring their music was, and
I suppose
it
their
really
music is
wasn't most
pretty
of it.
repetitive for
No,
my taste.
it's
Like,
mostly pop rock with occasional like experimental elements mixed in. And you could
yeah,
say, well, that was early in the days of when they were first starting to do experimental rock, but um, in the early '60s, yeah, maybe. In the late '60s, no, not really. Which is when they started doing their more psychedelic and experimental stuff. That was late '60s and '70s. So um, no, they're wrongly credited with way more influence over music than they really had, and people think that like they're cool for being a Beatles fan, and they're
you're
not.
cool.
Yeah,
Why would you be? Okay.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't
I
think
kind of
being a
like.
fan of anything makes you cool. I like this. I mean,
Well,
I
yeah,
know
it's
some
an
people make
uncommon
that part
opinion,
of their
unfortunately.
personality.
And unfortunately, a lot of people think they're cool for liking certain things. And Beatles,
Yeah, being part of a group or liking something, I don't think that was one of the original things, even as a kid, that I had a problem with the quote pride movement, because it's like, okay, sure, you're naturally gay or trans or whatever, right? Then why would you be proud of that? It's not like you accomplished anything,
yeah,
you know. The same thing goes for like racial pride.
yeah.
You'll say, "Oh, my race invented gunpowder or paper or whatever." It's like that's great, but
But
you
you didn't.
personally didn't do it. You didn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with all that. And I was maybe less like that. There may have been things that I thought I was cool for sometimes, but in music in particular, um, the Beatles sometimes they're pretty popular, so not nearly as much. But for something like all the people who have shirts for Nirvana, or damn it, that's stupid of me, um, or Bob Marley or Bob Dylan or Radiohead, people seem to think that they're very cool for being fans. Uh, it's always stuff that's like slightly less popular, where not everybody listens to it, but still very accessible to where normies still listen to it.
Makes sense.
I do like Radiohead, by the way. I'm cool because I like Radiohead. Uh,
I
but
thought people wore shirts with band logos and album covers just because they liked the pattern, which is because that's why I would wear one of
it's
them.
because they liked the appearance of the shirt.
Yeah, maybe that's just like autism thinking, but
That is autism thinking. I'll be real with you, dog. I have a lot of band shirts, and it's usually because I got them at concerts. Um, but no, it's usually because they like the music.
Okay, yeah, sure. But like, okay, now you think about that with bands, because the band does something. The band creates music.
Okay.
Now explain why people like clothing brands, because that is even more confusing. It's like,
That's
okay, the clothing brand makes clothing, which you're wearing.
just idiotic celebrity worship. Like the brand is kind of like a celebrity to them. Gosh, there's a bunch of really high level people in this in this game with me. It's just stupid. Yeah, like why? I don't know why you would. Maybe because you like their logo. I think people who are into fashion would say it's because they make really good clothes.
Right.
But
You,
I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, you could say for like Carhartt, they make durable clothing. That is a reason to buy Carhartt specifically.
I don't know.
But it's not like luxury clothing is like it doesn't provide any extra utility. You know what I'm saying?
I guess
It just
if
the
you're
utility is
into
to show off that you have that brand.
well, I guess people who are into fashion, like, it's important to them to wear cool clothes that look good, and I guess they would say like, oh, this brand is way better than everyone else. They make all the best stuff, and so then they
Would
become loyal
they
to that brand or whatever.
would they wear that piece of clothing in a vacuum though? Like if they knew no one would see it, would they wear that
Oh,
particular clothing item?
I don't think so. If like if there was an apocalypse and they happened to be underground at the time, a bunch of bombs went off or something, and then they were alone in the world for the rest of their life, would they still wear their nice clothes?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they would care anymore.
I'm trying to think of like things that are similar that I'm into. Like I guess computer components.
Oh!
But usually with better components, like more expensive components and name brand components, they tend to perform better.
Yeah, there's similar fanboyism to brands like the AMD Intel war, but it's about them arguing over which one has better performance, which is an objective thing.
Right.
I guess you could say it's sort of similar to saying, like, being autistic about bands and saying which band is better, but I don't know.
Well,
It's the weird.
music is more objective. Well, I guess there's some objective skill that the artist will have.
Yeah, yeah. There is. I think to some degree there's objectivity to what music and other forms of art is good. It's not just all subjective, but it's at least mostly subjective, I would say. But with clothes brand worship, it's, I don't know, like they only want stuff from a particular brand. Generally, the people who are really rabid about that, like, and you'd wonder, is it because they actually think that this particular shirt looks good, or is it just because it has that brand on it? And a lot of times, like with stuff like, I'm trying to.
Well, there is
some
the
examples off the top of my head. Usually, it just has the like Nike, for example, or Adidas. It just has like, or Under Armour. It's just the logo and nothing else, and nothing else is unique about it. If you get a shirt that's from Under Armour, it'll just have like the Under Armour logo in like really big fancy style on the shirt. Like, oh wow, cool. So is it for the brand, or is it because you like the shirt? I think it's usually just for the brand. It's just because they get caught up in this stupid celebrity worship.
well, there's there's sort of a sunk cost fallacy
Yeah,
that you see
that's
with
why. That's part of it, I think.
with brands, and you also see it with video game consoles. You see it with computers. You know, Apple versus PC. The Mac people will
That
tell you,
explains the Mac people, yeah.
yeah, because it's like I spent $3,000 on this laptop. If I have to face that, it might not be quite as good as
Yeah.
a an $800 Dell
No,
laptop.
I read I read about it on the internet. They said that it's way better than anything else. Oh, dang it.
Hey, looks matter, okay?
I paid $2,000
Objectively,
for the same. I paid 2,000 more dollars for the same hardware.
the hardware that can't breathe because it has no vents, so it has to radiate through the aluminum chassis.
Yeah, and it's slightly shittier because they have to make it fit into the paper thin model. So that, hey, it looks good though. I paid $2,000 for a laptop that's as thin as paper. That's what I wanted, and I paid $2,000 for it. And that's why it's good. And its hardware is still just as good. It's better, actually.
I look for the chunkiest, heaviest laptop I can, so I can dominate everyone. Whenever I go to a meeting, I'll drop my 20-pound laptop on the table
All of
while
them
they
are there
take out their featherweight laptops.
with their little soy MacBooks, their AirPads.
The Chad
I have my big
netbook
Chad,
user versus
my
the
big Chad gaming MythLogic laptop. Oh,
immediately starts whirring loudly because it's overheating in front of because it has a full desktop GPU inside of it.
Oh, that was that freaking dude as well. Stupid, man. Just happened to have that item right at the end. Yep. You know someone's a Chad if they have a really ugly computer.
I should get an old beige computer case and put nice components into it.
Dude, yeah, that's what I want. I want to get one of those old, one of those old beige colored big computer towers, put modern components in it, and then install Windows XP on it. Oh, I got it.
Yeah. Well, XP isn't a good choice because it doesn't have security updates anymore. So
I don't care. I want Windows 98 on my computer. And they'll probably do forced obsolescence on it. On what they're doing on Windows 7 to try to convince you to. Oh gosh, dang it, damn. To try to convince.
If only we had this. Actually, the source code for Windows XP leaked, didn't it? So we could.
You could do it.
Continue development.
I feel like Microsoft will probably sue you.
They would, but that's why you don't get caught doing it. So
I don't want to waste my time on Microsoft. You know what I want to develop? I want to make a new version of Temple OS.
That is going on. Some people are doing.
Really? That's cool.
Yes.
I need to stop doing that. It's not helping me at all.
What's it called? It's called like Bright or something.
No, we can't change the name. Assholes. Why would they change the name? Unbelievable.
I think one of the requirements for being a contributor to Temple OS is that you have to be Christian. Oh yeah, it's called Shrine. And there's another one called Zenith OS.
Shrine?
Shrine.
Shrine? That's not even a Christian thing. That's like a Shinto or Buddhist thing. No, I reject it.
There's another one called Trap Exit. I'd say Shrine is the better one out of those two, though.
How do you know?
I've looked at them.
You've experienced both of them? You've tested
Zenith
them?
OS. No. I don't see the Zenith OS's GitHub anymore, though.
Damn it. It's okay, it's a black Yoshi. I don't Don't want to oppress a black Yoshi. I am a yellow Yoshi though, which you know how it is with the yellow Yoshis and black Yoshis sometimes.
That's right. Zenith OS. Zenith operating system is a modernized professional fork of the 64-bit Temple operating system. Features in development include fully functional AHCI support, 32-bit color VBE graphics, a new GUI framework in 32-bit color, compiler optimizations for speed improvements, SSE2 plus instruction support in compiler and assembler, network card drivers, and a networking stack.
Okay. Honestly, some of those things are. Temple OS lacked. It didn't have network support, which is based. You shouldn't have network support. You should, if you have to do something on the internet, just send them a letter.
Yeah,
And
that's the Ted Kaczynski way.
It did need a new GUI appearance though.
You didn't like your eyes burning from looking at
from his dark blue and white interface with like blinking and flashing colors. Terry Davis was a lot of things, but an artist was not one of them.
Well, it would be interesting to see Temple OS servers. Like if the operating system would work as a server.
They'll use that instead of Linux. No.
Yeah. I mean, I would. Just to be different.
So that's cool, I guess.
I don't know if it supports remote logins, but I don't think it does. Obviously, the original didn't, but...
How did he manage... I swear in Mario Kart sometimes people manage to not slow down when they get hit by some kind of item. I feel like there's some kind of secret that I haven't been let in on. Oops. Ha, you missed. Stupid. Stupid. Here, come get my banana. Finally. Get revenge on some of these people for how they've been treating me. I don't think any... Oh, one of them hit. Okay.
Interesting.
Damn it.
I would say that it might be worth it to make Holy C easier to understand. If you know C, maybe you should be able to understand Holy C a little better.
Have you tried learning Holy C?
I've looked at it a little bit, but it's obviously I don't have the divine intellect to understand what he's calling these things. Shift space.
Man, that wasn't good. And with some tough competition this time. But I'm not gonna switch. I ain't no bitch. That was unintentional. Yeah, I think it would be cool to mess with that. I would learn his operating system and learn how to code in Holy C. You can't call it a different name though. You have to call it Temple 2 or Temple 3 or whatever. He did always say that this would be the third temple, his operating system. So I don't know, maybe you could call it. I guess yours would be the fourth temple.
Well, is it like that copy is the third temple, or the concept?
Yeah, that's
system
true. Yeah. So if I make Temple OS 2, then it can just still be. Damn, this is the third time we've done this map.
This is.
I associate
That's
this
what
map with Bad
it's like
Mojo.
TF2, where everyone votes for 2 forts.
This isn't even a freaking fun map.
Or Dust Bowl.
Maybe I just associate it with Bad Mojo now. It's because of people keep butt raping me in this map over and over.
Well, it's like TF2, where everyone picks either 2-Fort or Dust Bowl, CP Dust Bowl. If there's a map vote,
You know,
that's what's going to get chosen.
in TF2 though, a racing game's a little different. Like the events totally depends on the map. Like the map kind of determines the game, sort of. But shit. But in TF2, I think, however long I've spent on that, like 300 hours or so, I think probably 250 of them or more were on Orange X3, just because I really liked that map. I didn't ever want to do anything other than that. I was autistically attached to that map in particular. I'm really grateful that that fire didn't hit me, but then I ran into a banana anyway, so it didn't matter.
Sussy baka. Computers are a weird concept. Because it's a tool that enhances your thinking ability. I mean, it's a computation engine, but...
It's kind of weird to me to think about how everything that works on the computer, every program and every chip that makes it run, is at some point conceived in the mind of a person. And so if you sum up all the people who put the pieces of a computer together or invented the things that it runs on, they would be able to do all of the same things that the computer can do, although a lot slower.
Yeah.
It's like they aren't magic. A computer is essentially an equation turned into into an automated process.
Yeah, you could make a physical computer with just relays. It would be very loud and consume quite a bit of power that way, but you could technically do it.
I don't know if I understood what you meant as more of a hardware concept. Relays?
Yeah, so you, instead of tiny transistors, you could use physical coil relays.
Oh, okay.
It would be... I think you'd lose some speed because the relay has to physically clack into place, but you could technically rebuild your computer as a giant building that uses relays.
Yeah. Well, you could rebuild a computer as any, I guess...
Any sort of gate, right?
Yeah, any automated process. Like you'd make a computer like with waterways, hypothetically.
Waterways, or you could use
really
crabs.
Crabs.
How many crabs does it take? Yeah, there's like a crab transistor that they made for some reason. So how many crabs would it take to run Doom?
That they did in writing, or that they actually created?
They... Crab transistor?
I feel like that
crab
should be something you know off the top of your head.
Le crab's transistor. That doesn't know
Sweet and succulent crab.
A crab-based computer. You can build a computer with all sorts of things. The soldier crab.
I'm asking, did somebody actually make a crab, like, circuit or whatever? A crab logic gate or whatever?
Yes.
Okay. Based on what? Crabs moving in some kind of crab environment?
So they have, it looks like they have a plate that has a color on it. And then the crab will go one way or the other based off of the color of the plate.
Damn it! He got me! Oh my gosh.
You can... Yeah. Soldier crab ball gate. We could use this in our battleships. If we have to rebuild, we can rebuild. We can rebuild society with crab technology.
On that note, you know what was really stupid was that episode of... I watched... At some point, people got me to watch a handful of episodes of Doctor Who. and
Yes.
it always struck me as very. Is that what you were referencing?
No.
Oh, okay. It struck me as very pseudo-intellectual, kind of like
Oh, for sure.
kind of like Big Bang Theory. Like it's meant for normies, but it has like an air of nerdiness to it. Like that one, the famous Weeping Angels episode, did not make any sense logically with all of the time loop stuff. Regardless of your theory of time loops, what theory you favor on time travel. And there's another episode. Someone showed me like all their favorite episodes, and oh, fucking game, damn it. This is not. I still got fourth place, even though I was doing terrible. The episode with that where they're on a spaceship, and there's these robots. Oh, first of all, on that conversation about computers, the robots, they're like these high level AI, and they're made entirely like clocks, like with gear pieces. Which to make a normal computer out of gears, for it to be less than the size of a building, you'd have to have like microscopic gears.
Yeah.
And for it to be like inside of a humanoid robot. Anyway, so that was stupid, first of all.
Well, you would just at that. Well, a human scale computer would just be a human at that point. You could like, you know what I mean?
The Turing argument.
You might as well just use neurons at that scale. You know what I mean?
Let's make a neuron-based AI. Great idea. Now I just need to find a woman. Which hopefully that won't be as hard as the other option. Come on. I don't like this one as much. This map's kind of weird. It is entertaining to watch, though. So that was the first stupid thing. And then the main thing was the robots. The whole story was like they wanted to harvest the organs or whatever of this old French queen or something, because that was who their ship was named after. And they had done the same thing to the rest of the crew on the ship, because the ship had some kind of problem. And
so they used the parts. That's a good horror concept. But
I guess they used human parts to replace the broken parts of the ship.
I see lots of problems with that, specifically like keeping the organs alive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure making any like machine part is way easier than making some kind of interface for a biological some kind of like biological organ to replace it. And if you did, you still have to make some kind of interface. Dang it.
Right.
You have to make
the interface would be more complex. Like if you had to make a pump and you used a heart.
Yeah,
it would be easier to just make the pump.
Yeah, making a heart is with hypothetical futuristic technology. Making a machine that uses the heart as a power source is way harder than just making whatever machine it's replacing.
Centrifugal pump. Or, the closest thing would be a diaphragm pump with a rubber diaphragm.
Yeah, and there was like, they were walking through the ship one time and there was like an eye poking out of the wall and it was looking at them. Why did they need an eye? To replace a surveillance camera?
Yep.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. There's a really good analysis of shows like that on Slash TV, probably. They were talking about Sherlock. Why?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know where you're going with this, yeah.
Stupid people cannot write smart characters. And they worded it really beautifully. That was one of my favorite screen caps ever. People who try to write these kinds of shows, like Doctor Who or Big Bang Theory or Sherlock, if they are not a very smart person themselves, they aren't going to be able to write an interesting. They're not going to write Sherlock Holmes, the character, very well, and they're not going to think of very good scenarios to put him into, because to a stupid person, the things that a smart person does are just magic. And they give an example of like how in the show, there'd be something like he pulls off a mask of the bad guy and it's a certain person, and then he pulls off a mask himself and he's somebody else, and then the bad guy falls out of a drain pipe that's next to them. They're like, whoa, that was so crazy. That's so smart. He's so smart. Like it doesn't make any sense. It like you just accept that he's so smart that he figured out all this stuff and then it worked out somehow. As opposed to like in the Sherlock Holmes books, there'd be scenarios where like one example was I think he gets in a gunfight with somebody in this apartment in this hotel, and he gets a adjacent room next to these people, and then observes closely what all of the furniture in that room, what the layout of the furniture in the room is, so that he can tell where they're going to be and what obstacles to avoid.
Right.
Which is something that a smart person would do, but you wouldn't think to write that. You wouldn't think that if you're not a smart person, and you wouldn't think to write it if you're trying to write a story about a smart person. So, but anyway, it's not these kinds of shows are mass appeal schlock anyway. So you know,
Yep.
it's not
it'll get its good rating and then it'll be forgotten.
It's not targeted at like nerds or any of these other shows either. It's targeted at mass appeal. So they use kind of like how pop music will flavor itself in various ways. Like you'll have a pop artist that's pretending to be jazz, and you'll have a pop artist that's pretending to be indie. Had a whole lot of those about 10 years ago. There's this big trend of pretend indie bands. Oh, am I gonna make it? Yes.
And indie bands.
Which, yeah, you have pop music and then you add a banjo or an acoustic guitar to it, or you add a trumpet section to it, you know, and you use that as a flavor to make it more interesting, and all of your fans can think that they're into like this more artistic thing than they actually are.
Of course.
And, damn it. So,
what about the rest of it?
Is that a reference?
That's a reference to Paprika.
I don't know what that is.
That's a...
Fuck!
It's a movie. It's an anime movie. One of them animes.
Oh my gosh.
It was one of the first times I sort of thought that Japanese...
It's doing really good until the end. I just got fucked up by a couple things.
had something over American creators.
I don't like any of my options. Maybe I'm just not doing as good today. I do have more difficult competition than usual, though. I'm not having very much fun with this. I'm getting real pissed. I hate this map.
That's so sad.
It was so sad. It was so gay.
It was so sad. He played the game. But
I was playing Mario Kart,
I don't know.
the worst Nintendo game. And
Focus.
there were a bunch of retards and faggots on the game with me, and they were doing their faggotry, and I said, stop! And they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop. And so I shot my red shell at them, and he deserved it.
He had it coming.
He had it coming. He had it coming. Listen, Joe. You can't be nice to these people, okay? They're animals. They're like human animals.
Did he say that?
No.
No. That would have been base.
He did call that cartel gang animals, which they are. Yeah. They're like these people who go from town to town, like murdering and raping people. So, I don't know. Well, obviously, the left is going to take advantage of anything that they get. So it's not like
so he was being a big racism.
Not that they necessarily have a particular opinion. It's just that they see the opportunity to use it.
I see what you're saying. I think we need to make monkeypox stronger. That's what I think we should do.
Because we
need to go to a lab and make it more powerful.
Oh, it's hard to judge this it's hard to judge those scenarios because there's a little bit of delay in the game, and it kind of like pretends that there isn't, so that it looks normal.
Looks normal.
Yeah, it isn't. Everything in this game isn't as real time as it looks, and you can tell when you shoot an item at somebody, and the reaction is slightly delayed. I tried to time my red shell so that it would get in between his rotating green shells.
How do you think that works? You think there's a primary server that does the hit detection? And
it's one of those.
There's your version.
There's a dilemma of how to handle lag in online games. And
I'm very aware.
This would be one of those server decides ones. So when there's something that's timing specific. Oh, did they add more maps?
Do you know of any games that are client decides? If you get hit by something.
I think some old fighting games. I think some of the Dark Souls ones were like that.
Makes sense.
Which was a problem. Like, if one person is lagging, they can take advantage of it. Oh, we had someone join at the 11th hour. I don't know how much longer we're going. We're at like 2 hours already, but Epstein had it coming. Did someone make a joke about somebody having it coming? 888, look at my number. I'm pretty based, if I do say so myself.
And underage girls.
One of us said something about somebody having it coming. Oh, I think it was me about my fellow Mario Kart participant. Oh wait, no, never mind. This is from the most recent thing.
I said, get out.
And I said, get out of here, get him the hell out. I think this is based on one of the maps. Fucking hell. In the Game Boy one. It says Game Boy Advanced on it, so I assume so. But that was all flat, those ones. So I assume they changed it a little bit. I remember the music as well. I think it was called Super Circuit. I played that a lot when I was a kid. That's probably the Mario Kart that I played the most in my life. I didn't have Mario 64, and I never got a DS. There's actually, I think the Switch is the first. Fucking hell, damn it. I think this is the first Nintendo thing that I've owned since my old Game Boys. Epstein had it coming. I mean, he had much more than that coming, and it should have been much before it actually happened. The only reason Epstein got killed is because his case was going to cause information to get revealed about a bunch of other billionaires. And he might not even be dead. Chances are they just spirited him away to some island, and he's still banging 14-year-old girls, same as always. Come on. Oh, I think I've probably got in front of him. The yellow Yoshis are keeping the black Yoshis down.
Yes, they are.
He might commit violence on me later, but it's probably the fault of the white Yoshis.
Well, all those green Yoshis are busy collecting coins with Mario, so can't blame them.
Green Yoshis. Oh gosh. Okay, it's salvageable.
Buenos dias, Mandy.
So that was a porno, apparently. Gosh dang it.
I know.
I
It doesn't look
right
right.
at one time.
The
What?
illustration doesn't look too appealing.
I didn't read very far into it. I'm not about that life. Are there white Yoshis? I have to go back and look. I might have to leave this. How many people do we have? 7.
Kill them.
I feel like there is
Kill them, kill them, kill them, kill them.
on this game, because there's a black Yoshi and a couple other weird ones on this game, even though you don't see them in most of the Yoshi's Island or Mario games. This is a pretty cool level. I will kill them if I can. Oh hey, there's the black Yoshi. Come here, boy.
Ooh, I see.
This is one of the new maps.
You need the
It's
heckin'
weird.
new vaccine arena. Are people still doing that?
Vaccines?
Yeah.
Is there-
I see
Are there new vaccines?
job applications that they want your vaccine status still. Like, can you prove you're vaccinated?
Huh.
I guess.
Well, they
I'm not-
ask about if you took all the boosters or whatever.
I believe so. Maybe it's part of your ESG score to have heckin' vaccinated
sure you-
arena.
Make sure all your hacking employees are vaccinated.
Vaccinated arena. Jesus Christ.
Albino? Yeah, maybe, I guess. Well, being albino isn't fuck. It isn't a disease. It's just a type of person. It's a race, actually. It's a race, and we're being racist by saying that it's a skin disease. So
We're all racist, and I'm gonna win this race.
I'm playing a racing game, and I'm the best racist you've ever seen. It's currently only the 7th best race. Oh wait, I think I might actually be in last place right now.
Did you ever play Burnout?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. It was an interesting game. You could get points by crashing in a spectacular way. So that naturally I liked
Crap,
it.
someone's messaging me on Facebook. I still haven't deleted my Facebook Messenger yet, unfortunately. I'm planning to soon.
I need a reason. I need to be given a reason too.
Well, the reason is because Facebook is cringe and because it's globo homo, but I haven't gotten to it yet because I'm cringe and it's convenient to me in certain ways. Anyway, so another cringe thing that both of us have done is we got the vaccine, the original. Which one did you get?
I don't remember.
I got whichever one wasn't RNA based.
Johnson.
I think
and
it was
Johnson.
J&J. Yeah. So I was thinking about that. What are we at? 210. He makes money on Facebook, so he can't delete it. With what? Facebook Market? I have a lot of
drugs on Facebook.
There are a lot of people who I know who I don't live nearby. Look how they fit his afro into the crown. He's gonna have crown hair after this, assuming I don't get first twice in a row. What was I gonna say?
Kill them.
I forgot what I was talking about, but anyway, I did.
You're a conspiracy theorist, radical.
I know. I'm an alt-right. I'm an alt-right streamer, and I got vaccinated. I was under pressure from a lot of things to do it, but the main I don't do stuff just for that reason though, like kind of like the unconscious bias thing that I was talking about. Oh, they didn't email me again this week, by the way, so I think I might be in the clear at least this time. Let's see if I can pull it off this time.
Or you're gonna get your pink slips in.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Damn. So my opinion on the vaccine is a lot of people said various things. Like one of my very based and red-pilled friends was talking about how like they're putting like traces of like mercury or some kind of metal into it because they're trying to kill people using the vaccine. I don't agree with that theory because I feel like they would be selecting their own people. Oh, not quite. Dang it.
Yeah, it's hard to pin a motive on why you would want to do that.
Yeah. What are some of the other things people were saying? Oh, people were talking. I don't think anybody who isn't retarded was saying this, but some people were saying they're putting microchips into people, which, guess what? You already have 99% of people are already carrying around a camera and a microphone with them, so they don't.
Yeah, that's more capable than a embedded microchip could be,
because that
can get like your blood pH and maybe your temperature and a couple other things.
Oh, and GPS location. That's the most important one. Well, one of the most important.
You could fit a GPS antenna into a less than 1 millimeter chip, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Also, you could break a chip that small very easily. And I don't know how they expected power to go to it.
They should have put a thwomp on the new bills. Alright. Yeah, okay, yeah, they don't need a microchip because a audio recorder, a microphone, and a camera, and a GPS locator, all the things that they want, are 99% of people are carrying that around on them anyway.
And if you're not carrying it, then someone around you is.
Oh my gosh, that's totally Keanu Reeves. Look at that guy right next to me. Oh wait, you're seeing this a little bit after I see it, but
I see it.
Okay.
I assume that wasn't a gunshot outside, but
within likelihood.
Oh, boy.
Wake the fuck up, Bo. It's time to. Which one did we get?
Time to go, Kudo.
It's time to burn Paris to the ground. Not a super huge fan of this map. There's a dude named Loose Asshole. I assume that's supposed to be Lose Asshole. I really want to know if the other people...
Asshole.
Oh, Loose Asshole, yeah. Yep. You're right. Okay, so the vaccine. What happened with COVID and the vaccine was they wanted... There were several groups of interest who had something they wanted. You have the government and all the people who benefit from the powers that be in the government, i.e. Israel and most large corporations, especially Silicon Valley. And you have Big Pharma. Big Pharma and the government get in an agreement to do the whole COVID charade so that they can rig the 2020 election. They use it as a convenient venue for setting up what happened with that. And Big Pharma benefits from the whole ordeal because they make a lot of money off of it, and they made a ton of money off of it. There's no doubt about that. So they have
I assume that's the primary motivation, is if we can get the government to buy a bunch of shots, then we'll make lots of money.
And if it's necessary, if it's perceived as necessary and generally understood as necessary by the general populace, and if everybody is getting them, then the government buys them. So obviously lots of powerful and rich people have stakes in convincing everybody. So they put together this kind of this rinky-dink vaccine. Several people do. It's really undercooked and not very effective, and has a whole bunch of side effects. And they get the whole propaganda network to convince everybody that it's necessary. So they have stakes in people. Big Pharma wants people to believe it so that they make money, and the government wants... Oh my gosh. Damn, I think I got booby prize this time. Big Pharma wants people, or the government wants people to believe it so that they can continue ushering their new world order in and probably rig subsequent elections. So, if you got it, your crime, my crime, is being complicit with their charade that they put on, and it's a little bit dangerous.
Social pressures.
And it's a little bit dangerous to a lot of people. A lot of people got really sick and had big side effects from it. I didn't really. I was a little bit short of breath and felt a little bit sick for about a day afterward.
And you're sterile now.
I don't get sick a lot. But the stuff they're talking about, like putting microchips into it or thinning out the population, at very most, I would say what they likely did is put chemicals like estrogen into it. To, at least when they give it to men. Maybe they have two separate ones for men and women. That would be hard to pull it off, actually. So
don't you think someone would blow their whistle on that, though?
Yeah, we would have heard about that, probably. At some point, somebody would have heard something, and it would have been shotgunned all around /poll. So I assume that's not the case. That would be the most likely thing, I would think, though. So it was political, and it was Big Pharma. But, you know, if your work is going to fire you over it, or, you know... I don't know. I wouldn't take a strong stance on that. I didn't tell anybody else to do it.
That's why the best thing to do is to work for yourself.
ideally, yeah, but most people don't have that luxury, so you have to have a standard that's widely compatible with most people.
Yeah. It'd be nice if society moved towards that, though, where it was mostly just smaller businesses.
Small businesses, that would be good. But rich and powerful people have stakes in keeping society from becoming that. Gosh.
There is, you know, it is a nicer experience to go to like a bigger store. Like, have you ever had something go wrong with a smaller store and it's like, hey, there's something wrong with this order,
Yeah.
and it takes like
Well,
2 weeks to resolve.
that's the case
If
for
you go to a
anything.
bigger store, it's resolved within a day.
That's the case for anything. Like you try to move away from Silicon Valley and use
Free software.
use like Linux or open source or that guy's totally gonna freaking shoot that thing at me.
Well, there is an advantage if the closed source proprietary software sucks anyway. You might as well use
Oh my gosh.
free software. Like how people shouldn't use Discord because Discord sucks anyway. You might as well use something free.
Yeah.
But no, everyone's using Discord, so you have to use Discord now.
Yeah. Anytime you move away from the big thing, you pay in convenience because the big software. Did I already do this one? I think I've selected it several times, but never actually got it. Whatever the big thing is, the big website, the big store, they have all the stuff. They have their thing well put together. Their program works well because they have lots of people on support and development on it. And like in the case of Facebook and Twitter, which just suck, and there's no reason to use them other than that they're what they have is all of the people are on them. That's what everybody's using, so it's hard to get away from it. Although a lot of people are deleting their Facebook lately. I've noticed less and less of my friends are on it, so I'm planning to delete it as soon as a certain thing in my life is out of the way, but in a New York minute, ooh.
Kill them. Yep. It's scary how much money Facebook makes.
Where does all that money come from? Zucky, yes, papa. Selling data.
Well, so
that's not where they mainly
you'd
make
be
money,
surprised how much money they burn up in a day. So if they're burning up that much money, then
oh yeah. Well,
their income has to be proportional.
Their main thing that they make money off of, aside from selling data to shady third parties, is they have targeted ads, and so lots of businesses pay them for that.
Yeah.
The Google, same thing. Twitter, same thing.
They won't make money though if no one's using Facebook. They can't advertise on Facebook if no one's using Facebook.
Well, yeah, but everyone is using Facebook, so that's the situation currently.
I read an article that said Zuckerberg was one of the most protected people on the planet. I mean,
protected as
probably
in physically?
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
Now, why would he need security? What is he doing wrong, huh?
I'd be most worried as like a billionaire. If you're a high profile person, you're probably, well, I mean, depends what you do. Depends who your enemies are. You see that? That's called being smooth. less worried about common people and more worried about other billionaires if you make enemies of them.
Mm.
But of course, that depends on what you do. Because I would say that Zaki is probably doing perfectly fine with his fellow billionaires and probably has more common people who don't like him. Oh, Mob Goblin says someone just shot him. Is there something on that? How is that not news? Is the news suppressing that? I might as well look. Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, he's saying someone should just shoot him.
Oh, someone should.
just-
Wait, what? Someone just. No, he didn't
Someone
say should.
just shoot him.
Did someone shoot?
Well,
Did someone shoot Zaki?
No, he's saying someone just shoot him. So, as in, someone should just shoot him.
Oh.
Which would. I mean, I don't know if that would actually fix the problem. Someone would just take his place, really. Because it's not like. Zuck didn't even write the code for Facebook. He stole it. And it's questionable is.
Oh, yeah.
Even.
Okay. No, nothing.
Yeah, if.
Nothing
It could have
interesting
been
happened to
gifted
Zaki
to him.
recently.
Yeah.
Zaki, yes, Papa.
It's very possible that the code for Facebook was just gifted to him by some glowing individuals.
I heard there was one or
Oh, that's
several similar similar startups, similar to Facebook, and he ripped them off and screwed them over.
Who knows? It's all unsubstantiated anyway, but
Or suppressed, one or the other.
it sure is convenient for the federal government. Someone just
What,
shoot him. I don't
Facebook?
care about that. Next time wants to kill Hassan. I mean, you can try. He's probably harder to kill than the president, though.
Yeah, probably. Fuck.
You could kill your local politician, though. That would be easy. In fact, Shinzo Abe was killed using about $200 worth of worth of hardware.
Yeah, they just assumed it would never happen in Japan.
Well, they forgot that the internet exists, and Americans know how to make guns out of literally anything you give them. So.
Yeah, you ain't never getting guns out of America. We can make homemade guns just like British people can make homemade knives.
Yeah. I mean, I could do it. You can go to... Actually, you can make a gun using parts off of Amazon. Not super hard.
Yeah. Oh crap, that was stupid of me. Oh well, I'll just get rid of the rest of them. I think I can pull that one off. Oh, not quite. Dang it. That's so hard. You have to be going slow to get it. Oh man, that was the third lap. Damn it. I thought that was the second lap. Damn. Ah, I fucked up. There has to be a reason. I don't know. What could be the reason? I wonder why they chose him in particular. Why would someone...
Because he's a freaking lizard man? No, if you're gonna choose someone, I would not choose Zuckerberg, to be honest, because he has all the signs of not being a human. You know what I mean? Like, you pick the most...
Oh, no, I meant... If you want somebody to be the CEO of your company, that will be like one of the main mediums you use for spying on everybody in the world.
Right.
The person who would be selected would probably be someone named Mark Zuckerberg. No, I'm
I
saying
don't follow. No.
Zuckerberg.
I don't know. Can you explain it to me in like simple terms? Or
Anyway.
maybe with an analogy, like Harry Potter? Is he like Voldemort? Is that what you're saying?
Kind of like in Harry Potter,
Yeah.
the goblins who run the bank.
Yeah, they're like short and have a lot of money, and they have a funny voice,
Yeah, and they have certain
and they're
pronounced
stingy.
facial features. So, for
They
example,
like their ears.
if you're if you're Voldemort and you wanted to spy on all the Muggles, you might want a goblin to be the one who owns your the company that makes your spyware.
Right. Okay. Hmm. I see. I see. I love using Facebook. I get all of the mainstream opinions right into my eyeballs. No, I
There's
don't know.
there's this cool shower curtain that you can get that has pockets on the inside of it for you to put your phone. I saw an
Oh
ad
yeah.
for it. It's like stay connected while you're in the shower.
Oh yeah. I need to be tethered to the internet all the time.
Yeah, and I
How
also
else will I know about the celebrity thing that's happening?
yeah yeah I want to know about the celebrity thing that's happening. I hope that gets the guy
Ooh,
who
did
dropped
you
that bomb on the
know
track.
the queen died?
Oh
You
my, oh my, the Queen, oh my, the
Oh,
Queen.
Irish Twitter's really having a good time with this one.
Did you
Oh,
know
baby.
Black Twitter is a little too excited about this?
Oh, tell me about Black
Black
Twitter.
Twitter is a little too excited about the Queen.
Yeah, they're.
It's a little scary.
You could say they're
And also,
having a ball.
what
No, I
kind of
think
ball? My turn now. What kind of ball? Tell me what ball you're referring to.
a you know, a ball that you might play with.
What kind of game would you play with it?
I don't know what kind of games they play in black communities.
Well, are you saying black people play certain games?
Yeah, like baseball.
uh, what was I going to talk about? What was I talking about? I was in the middle of something, and then we got off on something
I don't
else.
know. This whole stream has been tangent after tangent. So,
Yeah, Zuckerberg.
but that's what we like.
How do we get on Zuckerberg?
Anyway, Keffels would be far easier to kill than Zuckerberg. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Not that you should do that. I wouldn't
I don't.
condone
I don't
some
think it was.
Keffels.
I don't think it was what I was gonna say, but yeah, they don't. If somebody like assassinated Biden or whatever, they wouldn't care. They just replace him with the next person in line. They probably would like to have Kamala rather than him. Gosh dang it! Ah, fuck.
Personally,
if you
I
really,
think it's a woman's turn.
it's her turn.
It's her turn.
Say it with me, Madam President. Gosh, I would love to see the looks on some of those people's faces who were posting that on the internet when Trump got elected. Probably did in a lot of those compilations. If you really wanted to go to jail, you could talk about how you were going to assassinate, like, some billionaire. Like the CEO of
Susan Wojcicki, I'm coming for you.
the CEO of some bank or like people at the top of some investment firm. The,
Go on to every social media and insult the CEO.
if you tried to assassinate one of those people, you'd probably be met by a small army. Gosh dang. These people are unbelievable. I want them dead. I want them all dead.
I mean, lots of people said Trump should be killed.
Yeah, they're all liberals.
But
They're all man children who are frothing at the mouth, galvanized by every media source. That wasn't
I
super
wonder,
good.
would that actually change would it really affect the outcomes that they want?
What,
Do you think?
being like trying to kill people?
No, like if Trump
Going on
was
their raids?
assassinated,
Oh,
I'm sure they would celebrate.
yeah, they'd celebrate.
Would it actually change?
I don't know.
I mean,
Well, he's definitely going to run for re-election, and he'll probably be the nominee because he's way more popular than the rest of them. Like people are saying DeSantis or whatever, or they're just falling for media hype. And so they obviously, like with this, with the Mar-a-Lago thing, and with the when they were trying to impeach him post-mortem after the horrible January 6th thing,
the insurrection,
the attack of January 6th. Never forget January 6th. They really want Trump.
This is our generation's 9/11.
Both came to be in similar ways. 9/11 and January 6th.
Right.
Both had similar motives.
They got there by plane.
Oh, they were.
No, I think more people died in 9/11 though.
Yeah, a few more people died in 9/11, but they were
only a few. It's comparable.
9/11 and January 6th both happened to cover up something.
And you have to think about the trauma that people experienced, you know? Because I think more people experienced trauma from January 6th than 9/11.
Just look at the state that AOC was in when she wasn't even in the same building. That's right. This is what incels and chuds had, the power that they have over women of color.
We should put them in camps to contain them. Feed them crickets and corn syrup.
Typical.
It's artificially nacho flavored. So like corn syrup and crickets.
Experts confirm. What the hell? What even hit me? Experts confirm that crickets taste just as good as all of your other Goy food products. Expert Gordon Ramsay, interview with Gordon Ramsay. He says that crickets are just as good as all other cheap corn syrup based food products.
You think Gordon Ramsay would endorse cricket beverages?
I think most celebrities will say just about anything they're told to.
Depends how many zeros are on the check.
Yeah.
Now this is a gourmet burger.
Hey,
made with the finest cricket.
What? No. I'm getting more of a seared bite from the cricket book.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I could see that. Actually.
Cricket burgers. That'll be the next thing that they have.
Well, at least the Queen isn't around to see this.
At least the Queen died before they made her eat the crickets. No, nobody who has a 7-figure or higher net worth is ever going to eat any crickets. That's the chow. That's their chow that they're gonna give us. All right, maybe do one more and call it good. We've been going for quite a while now.
Okay.
Man, I can't remember what I was going to say before. We were talking about Epstein and assassinating
I feel like we talk
a
about
figure.
Epstein a lot.
We've
Sir,
done.
you can't say that, sir, on our social media, sir. No, you can't talk
Don't.
about that,
Hey,
sir.
he may not have been a great guy, but there's no need to get all anti-Semitic about it. It was just a normal synagogue, all right. It didn't have any statues of Moloch in it.
What?
The blue and white temple on his island.
Oh.
Oh, it got reversed this time.
Actually, what was in it?
Some.
They had like paintings.
You'd have trouble finding articles on this, but there was some. I read stuff about it right after it happened, when they were investigating it. That there was like weird stuff in it, like pagan statues and like sacrificial ritual-looking buildings, or not buildings. Got it. Areas in the building. A lot of. I kind of subscribe to these theories about a lot of the billionaires and high-profile politicians, like actually being involved in this like weird devil worship kind of stuff. Ah, fuck! Couldn't see where it was.
There's that painting of Bill Clinton
What's that?
in a dress.
Damn it!
Whoa. What a wacky dude.
He was just really progressive. He was ahead of his time. Oh, I hope I got more of them. I want to kill as many of them as possible. People in this game. I'm not talking about billionaires. I'm not talking about assassinating any CEOs or owners of banks.
They'll just run propaganda against you, like they did with Russia. Then they'll have all their followers. We need to stop the heckin' Russian arenas. We need to stop the heckin'...
Come on. Ah, yes. That is...
Shortbus arena.
Just what I needed. Stop the Shortbus arena. Oh man, that was maybe slightly lucky, but it made up for all of the bad luck I was getting. Aw, Canadian one. A frickin' Canuck. I don't want no Canucks on my property.
Canades. That's okay.
Alright, real quick before we end, I'm gonna confirm if there's a white Yoshi. There is a white Yoshi. There's white
That's
Yoshi
what you
for you.
play as.
That's what I should always play as. I'm not based enough.
Because he has extra power.
That's true. He's overpowered.
They need to ban him. Ban White Yoshi.
They need to give the other Yoshi colors a
I call
helping
him
hand.
Mayo Yoshi.
They need Yoshi affirmative action. And all the other colors get a slight
Has
speed boost.
internalized bias against the other Yoshi.
He's unconscious biased against other Yoshis.
We need reparations for green Yoshis.
Green Yoshi's usually like the boss, though. Maybe Green Yoshi is the white man of the Yoshi world.
Perhaps. I don't know. Do you think a green Yoshi would fit into an oven?
probably, but
You think
I don't know
they
if.
taste good?
Oh,
You think you
I
would
thought
eat
you
a
were going
Yoshi?
another direction with that. I don't know how many green Yoshis you could fit into an oven, or how frequently you could fully cremate a green Yoshi.
I assume it's as easy as cremating anything else, approximately that size.
Yeah, so probably like 10 minutes. And so if you had like four ovens, you would be able to cremate several thousand of them per day.
10 minutes.
I don't know.
Cremate.
I don't know. I don't know about
How
that. It
long
doesn't
does it
sound quite right.
take to cremate a body? It says it's between 2.5 hours, so Yoshi's a little bigger than that, so probably be 3 or 4 hours to
Was
cremate a
that
Yoshi.
what did you search that on?
Google?
Google? I'm
Yeah.
surprised. Well,
Uh,
while modern gas ovens may take, what did it say, 2 and 3 hours?
2 to 2.5 hours.
2 to 2.5 hours. That's modern gas ovens. You have to understand that it's talking about. Okay, so if we were talking about like cremation methods they had like 100 years ago, where they were using like coal ovens, those are much stronger and can cremate a body in like 10 or 15 minutes. So you could cremate bodies really fast if you had some reason to do so.
Could you do
Hypothetically.
multiple at a time?
Yeah, yeah, and it'd be the same. The time it doesn't take longer to burn more stuff. Like you know how if you put like 3 logs on a fire instead of just one, it wouldn't take longer to burn it. That's kind of the same for people.
I see.
Yeah, or like how if you put more if you like put two chickens into an oven instead of just one, it wouldn't take longer to cook it.
Right.
Same principle would apply here.
Oh, the misery.
Well, that was a good thing to cap off the episode.
Yeah. We'll
We'll
just dig
probably
ourselves deeper into this hole.
yeah, well, we'll probably get assassinated eventually, but
Then they'd have to spend bullets on us.
we we died standing instead of living
And then the
kneeling.
police doing it would get paid overtime. I don't know.
For to go kneel.
Yeah.
Huh,
To
yeah,
go kneel
to go kneel. Yep.
after some unrelated thing happens.
Yeah.
After we get assassinated. This is too cryptic. Anyway.
All right. Well, that was a that was a good high note to end on after me getting my freaking ass kicked in Mario Kart this for the last hour. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. We will see you
Time to die,
guys.
libtards.
Time to